Hello everyone and welcome to the channel. I'm Emmanuel, I'm an airline pilot and currently in the type rating for the Airbus A330. Today we're sitting in the tailless A340 in X-Plane 12 and we're about to have a bad day. So an engineer didn't perform maintenance on the door quite properly and we're about to blow open a door, causing a rapid decompression. Now, before we do that however, let's talk a little bit about some backgrounds and basics of the emergency descent procedure in the Airbus long-haul aircraft. First of all, let's discuss the memory items. So, the first step, of course, is to put the oxygen mask on. The time of useful consciousness in these altitudes is somewhere in the region between 10 to 20 seconds, depending on the fitness of your body. For me, probably rather 10 seconds, for others maybe 20. In any case, you need to be quick to put that mask on. Especially taking into account the startle factor, when the pressure drops and the air sort of forms a fog and everything gets loud, you are going to take a couple of seconds where you will just be startled before you will actually put the oxygen mask on. When the oxygen mask is on, the pilot flying is going to initiate the emergency descent by turning and pulling the altitude knob, turning and pulling the heading knob, and pulling the speed knob. Announce the FMA, and if the auto thrust is not active, put the thrust levers into idle. Finally, extend the speed brakes. The pilot monitoring, after putting on the oxygen mask, is going to turn on the passenger signs, check the FMA, and once established in the descent, start the DECOM actions. Let's talk a little bit about some basics of Airbus logic. So, the cabin pressure access cabin alt alert on the ECAM, even if not confirmed on the cabin pressure SD page, must be relied upon. The alert can be triggered on the ECAM by a cabin pressure sensor different from the one used to control the pressure and display the cabin altitude on the system display. If the cabin pressure access cabin alt alert is not triggered, the flight crew should only initiate the emergency descent on positive confirmation that cabin altitude and rate of climb are excessive and not controllable. When we initiate the descent, we initially do a quick and dirty setup here on the SCU, so just turn, pull, pull, from the right to the left. And then get out the speed brake, but be careful when you do so, especially when you're flying at a rather low cruising speed, like we are right now at only Mach 0.75, you might get very close to the VLS. Now, if you reach VLS with your speed, the angle of attack protection might activate, which may result in the retraction of the speed brake and an autopilot disconnection, and we do absolutely not want that. When you're in idle thrust, high speeds, and with speed brake extended, the rate of descent is approximately 6,000 feet a minute. To descend from flight level 410 to flight level 100, it takes approximately 5 minutes and 40 nautical miles. So the pilot monitoring is going to ensure the MSA and make sure that we do not fly into anything that we shouldn't fly into, and carry out the ECAM actions. Alright, let's have a look into what this looks like when put into practice. Unfortunately, in the tailless ISCS, we do not have the ability to directly insert a loss of cabin pressure, but what we can do is we'll use the ground services and we are going to blow open an aircraft door. Do note, this should not be possible in flight, so this is purely a theoretical scenario since I do not have any malfunction available to trigger the alert otherwise. Alright, ready to go? Then let's do it! Okay, cabin pressure, access cabin out. Put on oxygen mask. Emergency descent, emergency descent. Oops. Okay, thrust idle, open descent, heading. Now let's get the speed brake out, slowly. You can see how the VLS immediately comes closer. We just need to be careful not to actually enter it. Okay, so pilot monitoring items, masks on, signs on, and FMA check. Okay. So now we can start cleaning up a bit. $10,000 is set, so we need just about 45 degrees offset. So let's take the heading where it is. Okay, speed. We are going to increase the speed only if structural damage is not suspected. Today we lost a door, so that means structural damage is likely there. However, for the purpose of the demonstration here in the simulator, let's increase our speed to the maximum. Mayday, 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 Airbus 346. Rapid decompression, descending flight level 100 on heading 060. And now we can start going down. As we go down, we can keep pulling a little bit more speed brake here. You can see I've still got a bit of speed brake left down there, which I previously hadn't pulled. Okay. ECOM actions. Cabin pressure, access cabin alt. Emergency descent, flight level 100 or minimum en route altitude. Speed, maximum or appropriate. Engine start selector, ignition. Engine start, ignition. ATC notify, we've done that. If cabin altitude greater than 14,000 feet, yes it is. Passenger oxygen masks, man on. Okay. Oxygen, passenger, man on. Confirm? Confirmed. On. Okay. ECOM actions complete. Actually, no. Clear cabin pressure. Clear cabin pressure. Okay. Door. One left. Cabin. If abnormal cabin vertical speed, max flight level 100. We had that. Clear door. Clear door. Cabin pressure. Low differential pressure. Expect high cabin rate. Clear cabin pressure. Clear cabin pressure. Status. Okay. Stop ECOM. So let's see how well or not it's going to handle the speed. Getting there, somewhat. Yep, that looks quite good. Okay, at this point we would mostly communicate with ATC, get the local QNH. Keep in mind we have to make sure that we descend to an altitude of 10,000 there, and not a flight level 100. So if we can get it, then ATC can tell us the minimum off-route altitudes and the QNH. So let's say today is QNH 1013. We don't need to do this, but we need to make sure that we get below 10,000, so we can stay on flight levels as well. Okay. At this point, everybody in the cabin would be strapped in. The flight attendants will just jump to the nearest seat, grab a mask, and stay there all the way until we are down at 10,000 and we do the emergency descent completed PA. Apart from that, when something like this happens, the microphone of the oxygen mask is going to activate automatically once you take the mask out of the storage. However, it is still a good idea to go to the interphone. What's this doing? That's not how it's supposed to work. So it is still a good idea to go to the interphone, and most importantly, take the PGT switch out of the interphone position. So, like that, your colleague does not constantly have to hear Darth Vader on his headset when you are trying to breathe. And if you set it up like this, normally this would be a 3-position switch over here, but let's just keep it on it then, so that if you want to talk to your colleague now, you can use the push to talk on your side stick in order to do so. And that is basically all there is to it. Now, as we are approaching flight level 100, we can slowly make sure that we are reaching the altitude smoothly. So from about 12,000 onwards we can start retracting the speed brakes, and then finally level off, reduce the speed, and get off the oxygen masks. It's a little unfortunate that right here in the simulator you don't have the breathing sounds. Okay, speed alt star. And with alt star on, let's bring the speed back. 250. 1,000 to go. Okay, speed brakes coming in. And that's it. Alright, leveling off at level 100. When the airplane is level, the pilot monitoring is going to come off the oxygen first, and the pilot flying is going to come off the oxygen second. Don't just do it both at the same time, because it can be so distracting that you may miss ATC calls, etc. Okay then, we're at 100, masks off, and after the mask is off, be very sure to press the reset button over here, the same one that you used to test the mask. Be sure to press that to reset it as well, because otherwise your microphone is constantly still going to be attached to the mask, and obviously we don't want that. Alright, and that is the cabin pressure and emergency descent exercise already completed. As you can see, applying those memory items isn't that difficult, but it does need some discipline, and in the situation in which you get when the decompression happens. It certainly isn't that easy, even though it may look like it from a classroom exercise as we are doing it right now. Especially when you're sitting there with a mask on, then the mask may be fogging up, so that's also something to keep in mind. And overall, that is quite a bit of work. But that's going to be it for this video, guys. Do let me know what you think about it in the comments below. I'm very much looking forward to your input. And as always, if you liked the video, leave a like in YouTube as well, as it does help out with the algorithm. And finally, if you're up for more, then please subscribe to the channel. Finally, I would like to thank you very much for watching. If you really loved my videos, I would appreciate a small donation through the Buy Me Coffee link in the video description below. And in the meantime, I'd like to say thank you very much for watching, and I see you all again on the next one.